think I speak for everyone when I say the reason we put up with the Epic Games Store is to take advantage of their free games. I was there at the beginning and tuned in every week to pick up whatever game they were giving away, regardless if I was even remotely interested in them. All these years later, I've amassed another backlog of games that threatens to overtake the size of my Steam library if Epic doesn't decide to shut down their store altogether sometime in the future. The majority of these games are ones I know I will never play. But there are several that I've had a curiosity for but held off from buying them because I have a bad habit of not wanting to part ways with my money. Anyway, one of those games that caught my eye was Severed Steel. So let's see how this game fares with its peers in the boomer shooter renaissance we find ourselves in. The premise of Severed Steel is your typical boomer shooter setup. You play as an amnesiac woman named Steel who happens to have heightened reflexes and has a legion of mercenaries trying to kill her. Long story short, you fight the mercs level by level until you get to the end. Like I said, simple boomer shooter fare, so the appeal of the game comes from the gameplay. A simple way to describe Severed Steel is basically Titanfall meets Super Hot. The former for the fast movement, double jump, sliding, and wall running, and the latter for the ability to slow down time, along with the neon aesthetic as you demolish faceless goons. In addition to the wall running, you can dive in mid-air to cover longer distances and use melee to propel yourself in other directions in an instant. But what's truly unique about Severed Steel is the protagonist's handicap. You only have one arm, which means you can't reload your gun. This means you need to move around and shoot the bad guys with whatever ammo the gun has left before picking up a new one when ammo runs out. With these mechanics, it's up to you to slip and slide through the levels and blast the bad guys to complete the simplistic objectives to progress to the next level. The flow of the game has you moving around as quick as you can to evade enemy fire. You'll primarily use slow motion to line up the shot and kill them with a satisfying crack. And getting kills is important because they'll replenish small parts of your health and your slow motion meter. So this means you need to keep the murder momentum going, otherwise you'll end up without any slow motion, an empty gun, and in an open area with dozens of enemies filling you with holes. The enemies you'll face are the standard mercenary variants you've seen in many games before. We have standard grunts, sergeants, snipers, shield bearers, jetpackers, armored juggernauts, and flamers whose weak spot is the tank on their back. To help against the harder enemies, you'll acquire Samus's arm cannon to replace your missing arm in Chapter 2. Its function is to fire grenades, which are primarily used to kill shield enemies and punch holes in the environment. To replenish your shots, you kill and pass by an elite enemy. The main campaign is surprisingly short, only taking about 3 to 4 hours to complete depending on the difficulty you choose. But the game makes up for it with extreme replayability thanks to extra modes. The first is New Plus, which is just the campaign with harder enemy layouts. Firefight 2.0, which is basically score attack with a number of modifiers you can activate. The level editor that allows you to play and share other players' creations. And then there's Rogue Steel, a roguelike mode where you play a randomly generated mini-campaign. After every level, you're given the choice to select a card that will either give you a buff or a detriment in exchange for extra point multipliers. But unlike regular roguelikes, you don't start the entire run over when you die, just the level you died on. But you can try a true roguelike experience by activating the permadeath modifier in the advanced rules section. For presentation, Severed Steel runs on Unreal 4 and the game ran flawlessly even with the chaos of all the particle effects and debris flying everywhere. The super hot inspired neon aesthetic gives off the arcade feeling the game goes for, combined with the retro soundtrack that fits the power fantasy the game gives you. All in all, Severed Steel is a good time. The gameplay is smooth and satisfying, and despite the short length of the campaign, the value of the game comes from how much time you want to put into the extra modes. So with that in mind, Severed Steel gets my rating of Indie Gem. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time!